Hey Fae folk, welcome back to a video that is apparently going to be really difficult to film because I'm so excited about this concept and about this video that I'm actually having trouble talking and my eyes are welling up. Like I'm about to cry because I'm so excited. And like it's not I feel like within the doll community, it's like normal to do like oh, I'm so excited I bought this doll that I'm crying. That's not what's happening here. Today's video is statistics. And I'm so excited I can't talk. This is really embarrassing. I would try to do a second take, but I know it's not gonna help. I know I'm gonna be just as amped up. So, okay. You know, like Spotify Wrapped, YouTube Wrapped, that sort of thing, like these year-end statistics that have become popular. I did that with my doll purchases. I recorded every single doll purchase that I made this year, along with dolls that were gifted to me. I recorded them all by month, and I have my laptop here to help me out because I have so many graphs and statistics. Oh my God. Okay, breathe, try to breathe, try to breathe. About what brands I bought the most, like my year distribution, what months were the heaviest for me. I just have so much data for you, and I'm such a nerd. I'm so excited about this. I promise I'm really genuinely trying to keep my shit together. Like this is not me acting up. I'm genuinely struggling to maintain my cool. So, we're going to go over the statistics of my doll year, like a little doll year and rewind, a little doll year, like doll purchases wrapped sort of video. I don't know yet what I'm going to title this. I am begging you all to like this video. Like I appreciate the support that you guys give me, and normally, like, when you guys tend to not watch, like, a type of video as much, it doesn't really inherently bother me. It's just sort of like, "Oh, okay, that's something that you like and not as many other people like, so just don't make that content as much." I please like this one because I literally just I was coming down to film and I stopped and was like, telling my husband, "Hey, I'm gonna film. Just so you know, if you hear me talking, that's why." And I was like, I'm so scared because I really, really want people to like this so I could do this again next year because clearly I have just an unbridled amount of joy about this topic. So, more than any other video, if you could like, comment, subscribe, hype, please just like help me justify doing this again. I can't even breathe. I'm so excited. This is so stupid. Okay, I wrote down my parameters just so that like we are all on the same page. So as I said, I tracked my doll purchases and used that for all of the data. I also said I tracked the gifts as well. But there are some like qualifications, I guess you might say, for that. So I'm not including any dolls or doll pieces that I bought for custom dolls. I did behind the scenes work on like a couple of custom dolls this year. Not saying that they're finished, but there were some cases where I bought dolls and like, a body or a separate head or something for a custom. I'm not including those because I don't really feel like it's the same as like buying a doll to just unbox and add to the collection. So those are not included. I'm not including any dolls that I bought for pieces, but I intend to sell the actual dolls, which I actually don't think happened this year, but I made these rules at the beginning of this year and I was like, ooh, that might happen. I might buy a doll on a super sale just to keep the dress and then I'm going to sell the doll later. I don't think that happened this year, but if it did, we wouldn't be including that because again, it's not me buying a doll to add to my collection. It's just like I'm trying to get the one piece. These are based on when I pay for the dolls. So like when I go through the yearly distribution, it's like, oh, what I purchased in January, what I purchased in February. That does not necessarily mean that the doll arrived in that month. That could be something as simple as like I ordered something on January 31st on Amazon and it didn't get here until February 1st. Or it could be like the Fangboat Caddy was a pre-order that I think came, I can actually look, haha. She came out in March. She became available for purchase in March, but obviously she like just recently arrived here and there wasn't even a guarantee that she was going to get here this year, but I still wanted to count her because like that was still a purchase for the year. So when you look at these, it's not based on like when I was able to physically have the doll or when I unboxed the doll or anything. It is based exclusively off of when I purchased the doll. With that little caveat, when we get towards the end to December, you're going to be hearing me talk about some dolls that I haven't unboxed yet. They will be featured on the channel. Trust. I just haven't gotten there. I'm really struggling for this. I'm like not in a bad way. I'm having so much fun. Like I'm having so much fun. In terms of like fashion packs or play sets, those aren't counted. I'm pretty sure I only bought one play set this year, and that is one that I have not unboxed yet. But those wouldn't be counted unless they came with a doll. So, like, for example, the Closet Amaya doll that I got semi recently, she counts because she has a doll with her. I'm like not counting the playset as an extra part or anything, but she counts because she was a doll. But like if I buy a playset that's just a playset, I don't want to say what the one that I know of is because I don't want to spoil anything. But like if it doesn't include it all, then it doesn't count. And then lastly, I promise I'm almost done with this part. This is like the most boring part. I'm really scared everyone else is going to think all the numbers in the whole thing are boring, but I'm so excited about this. Like, anyway, if I bought multiple packs of dolls, like a 2-pack or a 3-pack or anything like that, I'm counting by doll, not by pack, just because, I mean, you can buy, it's not as common now. Like 2-packs, I feel like are sort of the max that you typically see on a playline level. But like back in the day, there would be like 5, 6-pack of dolls. And so I feel like if I count by pack, it's not really accurate. So I did count each individual doll anytime that I bought a multiple pack here. The last thing that I need to say for the intro before I get into like the fun part, the part that's going to make me spaz out. I've got so many like graphs. I have so many graphs to share with you. I'm so excited. So there are going to be like 2 possible ending points for this video. Okay. We're going to go through like these sort of more basic information, you might say, like the more surface level information. I think that that's going to be more generally interesting to people. And then we're going to end that first section with like some fun facts, some highlights. So less data driven, but like what was my favorite doll that I bought this year? What was my husband's favorite doll that I bought this year? Little like fun factoids like that. That's going to be the ending point 1. After that, though, we're going to do a extra deep dive into just some more hyper specific statistics. And I'm also going to go through my entire list of every single doll that I bought this year. So if you really want to dig deep, you can watch the whole video. But if you're not like in for it that far, there will be a nice, easy ending point for you all. So I think that's everything I need to say for the intro. Let's get started. Do you want to hear something crazy? I'm filming this on Christmas. My battery's about to die. 2 seconds. Okay, charger has been placed. My laptop is no longer in danger of dying. That would have really sucked if I couldn't reference my Excel spreadsheet here. The very fact that I have an Excel spreadsheet for this is so crazy. The crazy thing that I was going to tell you guys is I'm literally filming this on Christmas. Because I was like, oh, what if I get dolls for Christmas? And I did. So I need to make sure that I like account for those. So I have to film on Christmas. And I'm sure many of you are like, the literal last thing that I would want to do on Christmas is mess around with numbers and maths and graphs and statistics. I think it's very clear that I am literally having the time of my life right now. I feel genuinely so terrible because I really was like, oh, I'm going to sit down and this is going to be a fun video. And I feel like no one's going to be able to enjoy it because I'm just like on the cusp of tears. But in the best way. I'm having such a good time. Oh my God. Okay. So the first statistic that we are going to look at is my overall purchases, not accounting for gifts. This is like purely the things that I bought this year. So here is the graph of all of the purchases that I made this year. As you can see, February was a big month for me. When we get into the like individual dolls that I've bought, if you stay that long, you'll see exactly why. But to sum it up for anyone who doesn't want to watch that far, this is because February was the month that I got into the Bratz babies like really hard. So a lot of those purchases are some form of Bratz babies. Pretty middling throughout the rest of the year. October, interestingly, was the second highest year. I really thought it would be December. December's the third, only by 1. I mean, all of the top 3 are only off by 1. Actually, all the top 4 are only off by 1. How fascinating. Sorry, I'm such a dork. Actually, really quick, I haven't even prepared this. I want to know what is the average that I purchased. So on average, I bought $5.50 per month, which like, I don't know if that's crazy or not. I don't know if that's bad. We're not here to judge the morality of how much I've purchased. We're just here to have fun with graphs and numbers. But yeah, so you can see like I had a big jump at the beginning of the year and then it sort of steadily climbed for the most part. September was really, really slow for me and got like more intense towards the end of the year. But that is, of course, only accounting for things I bought. What about when I was gifted things? That's different. And that will also give us the total number that I like acquired this year. If you're interested in just like the purchasing number, I purchased $66 this year. $66. But then we can go ahead and look at the same sort of graphs of the distribution by month, but including both purchases and gifts. So this includes gifts. Like I had Kika Goods gift me a blind box set, like a whole case of dolls, so that counts. Or gifts from like my husband, my mother-in-law, that sort of thing are all accounted for in here. So definitely changes the distribution a little bit. December double. What? Hold on. Am I? Did I do this right? That's crazy. Oh, it's because I had like the case. December was the case. I was like, that that's insane. December doubled, which makes sense. I mean, it is, the gift giving month. It's like where there's such a large concentration of holidays, so that kind of tracks. Blows February out of the water. But overall, I do think it's interesting that the trend is still roughly the same, where outside of the outlier of me going insane in February, there was definitely a lot fewer purchases made at the beginning of the year. And then it sort of slowly climbed, except again for September. September, I was just like, I'm not doing this. But it sort of vaguely climbed towards the end of the year, which again, I do think does make sense. I mean, generally speaking, for a lot of markets, but toy markets specifically, towards the holidays is when they make like the most of their money. That's just like a very profitable time of year for these companies. And so we end up seeing a lot of releases around this time of year. This past year, I think, oh my God, I'm getting off on a tangent. It's fine. This past year was like a little, I feel like it was a little extra crazy. Like there were so many releases just back to back to back to back to back to back for months in the latter half of this year. But to some degree, we do see that sort of pattern every year where companies are dropping more dolls like around December or like prior to December so that they can try to beef up those holiday like profits with new releases. So it does make sense that I would be buying more later towards the year. I just think it's sort of interesting to like see the numbers for that.
Very similarly, YouTube's ad rates go up as like the end of the year draws near. So towards the end of the year, I also inherently just earn more, so therefore I have more budget to give to my dolls.
But that means that we can say my total acquired dolls this year, accounting for again purchases as well as gifts, is 88 dolls total, which is again just like maybe a little bit crazy, but it's fine. We're going to find out the average of that now because I'm nosy. So when you account for the gifts, it definitely bumps up the average. I purchased slash received approximately 7.33 repeating dolls every month. Is that is that bad? Whatever. Again, it doesn't matter. But yeah, in case you guys were wondering, 88 total dolls acquired this year, and this is where I want to drop my first little nugget. You should at least keep watching towards like the first potential ending of this video because I did ask a selection of human beings in my life for their guesses on how many dolls I bought. The guesses are hilarious, very wide ranging, and I'll tell you who was the most accurate to that number that I've just given you, the 88 dolls. So stick around to find out how that went because it was interesting. I'm so glad. I feel like I'm doing a little bit better of speaking now that I'm like locked in and focused on actually reading the data. So then I thought it would be interesting to do a cute little pie chart about what I bought versus what I was gifted. And it turned out very nice and tidy here. So you can see that 25% of the overall dolls that I have purchased slash bought this year that I acquired. I'm going to try to just use that word because all of the other graphs account for the gifts as well. Like I thought that doing two charts for every category would bore y'all. So all the other ones account for gifts as well. But yeah, 25% of my overall like acquisitions this year were gifted, which is honestly, I mean, maybe about what I expected, maybe a little bit more. I don't know, but it's like a fascinating statistic to see that I'm just out now purchasing 75% of the dolls that I get. Another one that I wanted to share with you guys was new dolls versus secondhand dolls. And I definitely expected the new dolls to be significantly higher. I feel like I had some secondhand purchases more towards the beginning of the year. And then as we saw the like new releases kind of start churning out, that definitely slowed down. So I only 19% of the dolls that I acquired this year were secondhand. And I think I would like to try to bump that number up for next year. I am going to make like a whole video in 2026 about my 2026 collection goals. And I think that's going to be one of them. Because, like, obviously, there's nothing wrong with collecting mostly new stuff or mostly secondhand stuff. Like, as long as you're not hurting anybody else, like you're not stealing other people's dolls, there's no wrong way to collect. If you only buy new dolls, that is fine. If you only buy secondhand dolls, that's also fine. For me though, I just have such a backlog of secondhand dolls that I like want to add to the collection. I think I want to bump that number up, but definitely a hefty year for new purchases for me. And then the last little pie chart I'm going to make y'all look at before I start getting into the brand distribution, which I do think y'all are going to be quite interested to see. Like it's a little bit, it was surprising to me at least, was collector versus playline dolls. Because I just thought it would be fun to see if I'm buying more things that are like readily available on the shelves or more things that are sort of like geared more towards adults versus adults and kids. There's no surprise here. Like I think it's pretty obvious just from the videos and like the content that I post that most of them were playline dolls, but I just wanted to like see what the numerical distribution is because I'm very normal. For this one, I did not include any secondhand dolls. This is the only graph that has like that extra caveat to it, just because I honestly don't know all of the secondhand dolls if they were released as collector or playline. Like I think I would know most of them, but I couldn't be 100% sure. And I also just think that that sort of, I don't know, it muddies the waters to me because like there's such a difference between getting a playline doll right off the shelf versus a playline doll on the secondhand market. Like I literally just talked about in my dolls I don't want video, like the old Nutcracker Barbies. Like the original Nutcracker Barbie from the movie was a playline doll. But anymore on the secondhand market, she's easily over $100, probably significantly worse. I haven't checked. So like it feels weird to count her as a playline doll when like she would be so expensive to buy. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I didn't include it. Sorry if you don't like my reasonings. This is the pie chart though. So 15% of my collection or my acquisitions this year were collector dolls versus 85% being playline. So like I said, I'm not at all surprised that playline like dominated over collector. They're just more affordable dolls and like it's not that I'm like, oh yeah, like you should like I don't care again what you buy, whether you're strictly a collector or if you're a playline collector. But for me, I think my thing is like I like so many playline dolls that I tend to buy more of them because it's like if I like all of them, I can get more bang for my buck with the playline dolls, generally speaking. I don't know if that makes any sense. This one I'm not super duper shocked by. Honestly, I kind of think that if anything, I would expect in future years, if I get to keep doing this, please let me keep doing this. I'm having such a good time. I think that in future years, it might actually be less. I feel like I bought more collector dolls this year than I normally do. I just don't have any data from previous years to support that. Because, okay, here's the thing. Oh my God, I'm going to freak out. If you guys like this and if I can do this every single year, then that means that at a certain point I'm going to be able to start comparing year to year. So like maybe after year 3, like I think at that point I would have at least the trio of data points to go through, but then I can compare like what the trends are from year to year. I'm such a nerd. Ah. So please like this. Please enjoy the video so that you can have an investment 3 to 5 years down. Shut up. Let me keep going. Okay, so yeah, here is the big one that I think is maybe going to be the most fascinating for you all, and that is my purchases and gifts by brand, my acquisitions by brand. I did not expect this at all because like it's basically a pie chart of oh, did I buy more Barbies or Monster High or Rainbow High, and I was so unprepared for the results, but they're undeniable, okay? It's statistics here. So here's the pie chart distribution of all of the different brands that I bought. You can definitely see some are very tiny little slivers, like the 1% is the Pixlings, the Magic Mixies Pixlings, which I bought exactly one of. Then we have another tiny sliver of 2% for my Disney ILY dolls. But then we've got the big chunks, okay? And I know those are the ones that y'all care about, okay? The biggest one was Bratz, which I did not expect at all. Like, I know I've been getting so much more into Bratz this year, like, tail end of last year, and then obviously throughout this entire year. I just have really, really gotten hard into Bratz. Like, I locked in. I don't know what happened. It wasn't on purpose, but I locked in every version of Bratz. I'm just so excited about like the babies, the full like regular dolls, the old ones, the new one. Like I am just so into Bratz that it's kind of embarrassing. I just can't believe this. Like you can see 39% of my overall purchases for the year were Bratz dolls. That is 34 out of 88 acquisitions being Bratz dolls. That's crazy. And like I said earlier, like when talking about the distribution by month, a lot of that is Bratz babies, but still, like, that still counts, and I just, like, cannot believe it because if you ask me what my favorite doll brand is, I would say Monster High. And they did take second place, okay, but it wasn't even close. It was 39% Bratz purchases and 22, no, I can't even read, 21% Monster High purchases. That is a 13 percentage point difference. Like, that's not, oh, Bratz barely beat out Monster High. Like, that is a significant increase in my Bratz purchases versus my Monster High purchases. And again, I would say Monster High is my favorite brand, but like apparently the statistics, at least for this past year, they disagree. And like when you look at the number of like individual dolls too, like I said, I bought 34 Bratz, but then 19 Monster High. So that's what, 15? 15 more Bratz, which I think, hold on. That actually just about counts for the Bratz babies that I purchased. So like the Bratz babies make up the difference, but that still means that like they would have been neck and neck even without the Bratz babies. That's crazy. That's crazy. If anyone is curious about the very, very specific numbers here, Bratz obviously had 34 like acquisitions. Monster High had 19. Then we get into significantly lower numbers, like right off the bat here. Barbie, Ever After High, Winx, and my blind box BJDs all had 6 dolls added to the respective collections this year. So like we literally went down from 34.19 to 6. Monster High and Bratz dominated, but Bratz really, really dominated. Rainbow High only had 5, which is also crazy because like that, like Rainbow High is what brought me back into doll collecting. For me to only buy 5 really says a lot about the state of the channel. And then yeah, everything else is 3 or less. Like that's wild. But what a fun little chart. However, that does mean that we are coming to the like first potential close of this video. So let's rewind it back to those 88 dolls that I acquired and let's take a look at some people's guesses. So I'm going to be throwing a lot of numbers at you all. I do apologize. Also, maybe I could have organized this better so it would be like a fun surprise and like you wouldn't know how many dolls I'd bought, but I don't know. This is how I wanted to organize it. Be nice to me. So keeping in mind the 88 is the key number here. So, of course, the first thing I did was ask my husband. Obviously, I was going to ask my husband. So, Tony said he thought I had acquired 59 dolls, which is clearly incorrect. And I do think it's genuinely hilarious, given that he lives with me and lives with the dolls that I just apparently am like smuggling stuff in. He doesn't even know. That's not true. Just to be clear, that's just a joke. Like, I'm not like secretively buying dolls for my husband. I don't need to. He's extremely supportive. But yeah, it's just funny because he obviously isn't like counting them. So that was his guess. Not terrible, but it is what it is. Then I asked some of his friends for their guesses, and they are using code names. So sorry, they're not actual names, but they just wanted to be a little bit more anonymous, I guess you could say. He was talking with them on Discord when I asked him, hey, how many dolls do you think I got? And they all wanted to join in as well. So the one known as Cool Whip and also the one known as Frogs guessed 27. Apparently it was independent. Apparently they were asked and they said the number at the exact same time. So they weren't copying off of each other. It is what it is. I would like to skip ahead just a minute here to my friend Daisy. She was featured on the channel once. She's very, very lovely. She also guessed 27. And she doesn't know these other guys. Like, there's no way that she would have possibly known that they had guessed that. That's crazy that 3 independent people guessed 27 dolls. Bringing it back, though, to the last friend of Tony's that I asked, a guy who's going by Captain, he guessed 75, which was a very good guess. And I think it's genuinely hilarious because I think that I have maybe spoken to him once. And he was guessing good. Then I went to my family. I said, "Hey, family of mine, how well do you know my buying habits?" Mom was pretty solid too, not too bad. She guessed 127 dolls, and then my brother and his girlfriend guessed together. So Ian and Grace had a concurrent guess of 300. I am supposed to note that Grace texted and said we both say 300, and then Ian texted like the family group chat and said, that's not true, you're lying. I swear to God I said 50. But he did say that after, like I had acknowledged the 300 guess. So I'm just going with 300. Sorry if that causes some family drama later. That'll be kind of funny. And then lastly, my friend Keisha from It's Keisha K here on YouTube, I asked her and she asked 8. And Keisha, I love that you think that I am like a bargain girly pop like that I am so mindful. A lot worse than that. So this was so fun to see, like, oh, it literally ranged from 8 to 300. But I have answers as far as who knows me best and who had the closest guess. So we're gonna go ahead and give like the top three, starting off with third place. My mom took third place. Mom, if you're watching, that's still good. Okay, you're on the leaderboard. She was $39 away, so I would have to try pretty hard to get to her guess there. And then Tony took second place. He was $29 off, but he was on the low end. So I would have needed to restrain myself for $30 for him to be right. So sorry, babe, there was no way that was happening. And then, shockingly enough, only 13 away from the correct guess was Captain, the guy I don't actively know that well. Like, granted, Tony talks about me to them, he talks about them to me, like his friends. So, like, it's not that I'm entirely strangers with this man in that sense. Like, I'm not like weirded out by it. I don't know. It's just funny because this is someone that I don't talk to on a personal level. And yet he kind of nailed it. He was pretty dang close there. So round of applause for Captain. Sorry, Tony and my mom and everyone else, especially the people who maybe deserved it more because you know me better. But maybe this will give you some insight for next year. Maybe I'll be allowed to do this again next year. Maybe someone else will take the crown away from Captain. But like I said, along with the like little competition there during this first ending section, I do want to give you just some like fun little non-numerical tidbits about the things that came into my collection this year because there's a lot of just very interesting things that happened, I guess. Two notable moments. One is that I got into Bratz babies really hard. Clearly, I have, talked about that a few times now, but like I genuinely went from I don't care at all about these dolls to I'm completely obsessed. I made a whole video about it. So that just felt like a big milestone for me, like getting super duper into them. And on a very similar note, I bought my first couple of 18-inch dolls. I bought two 18-inch IOY Forever dolls, Evie and Lila, who I love dearly. And I think that that was just like, it's a completely different style of collecting. So that was sort of a big deal for me when it comes to the things that, again, were added to the collection this past year. On on a slightly sadder note, we're gonna end on my favorite and Tony's favorite, so we can like end the first ending on a positive note. The sad things though, I didn't buy Rainbow and Shadow High until October of this year. October. Again, this is the brand that made me get back into dolls after the hiatus I had after Monster High Gen 1 ended, that made me start this YouTube channel, and I didn't buy them until October. So that's wild. Actually, hold on. I just realized something else in real time. I didn't even buy them. Those were gifted to me by my mother in law. And the other couple of Rainbow High dolls on this list were also gifted. I I bought one. I bought one of the 5 Rainbow High dolls this year. The other 4 were gifts. That's crazy. That's crazy. So yeah, that's like I definitely unfortunately think that maybe says something about like the state that Rainbow High is in. But we're not going to get into that because I do want this to be like mostly a super fun video because again, I'm having a great time. So the other like little bummer that we have to get through before we can get back into the fun stuff is that the single Pixlings doll that I bought this year was Catelyn, and she is almost certainly the last Pixlings doll I will ever get to buy because I'm pretty sure that company is not happening anymore. Sorry, my mom just texted and I forgot to turn off the sound on my laptop. She was like, "Merry Christmas." But yeah, that's probably the last one because I just don't know that they're ever gonna come back. We haven't heard anything from them this entire year. I've seen on Reddit like some other people have emailed Moose Toys, who makes the Magic Mixies Pixlings, to ask about them, and they sort of get vague responses like, "Oh, they're not like completely discontinued, but we don't have anything in the plans right now." Which to me is like corporate talk for yeah, it's not happening. I did email them myself. I have not yet gotten a response. I'll keep you updated. But yeah, I don't really think the Pixlings are going to continue. I'm thinking about making a video on my theory on what killed them. But because of that, and because I was collecting like actively the entire time they were coming out, I bought all the ones that I wanted when they were new on shelves. Like there's no Pixlings that I want that I would need to get secondhand. So she was probably the last Pixlings I'm ever gonna get to buy because they're probably not gonna make any more, which is definitely sad. But the sweet part of the bittersweet there is that at least she's really cute. But to go ahead and conclude again, like the first portion of this video, the more easily digestible portion of this video, which you could argue about that, but the definitely by comparison more easily digestible portion is my favorite doll that I acquired and Tony's favorite doll that I acquired. We're gonna go with Tony's first, and his is actually a doll that I have not yet unboxed, have not yet shown off on the channel. She was a December purchase, like very nearly one of the last dolls that I got this year, but it is the Barbie Goddess of the Arctic. She'll be pictured on screen somewhere here. I get it. I get it. I'm not really surprised. I completely understand why he likes this doll so much. When we went to a semi local toy store and saw her, Tony was like, "You need this doll." He normally doesn't feel very strongly about dolls. If you guys have seen the videos that he's been in on the channel before, you probably know that. Like, he supports me, but he's not a collector himself. So, like, most of the time, he's just like, it's a doll. So, when he likes one, that really, really does say something. That was his favorite acquisition of the year because she really is a stunner. I'm super, super excited to get into her. Normally, with my secondhand dolls, like not new dolls, I do haul type videos where I sort of do them all at once. She's getting her own dedicated video. That's how special she is. So she was his favorite, and that completely makes sense. I think she might be my second favorite for the year, but there was one doll that dethroned her for me personally, and that was the Swan Lake Odette Barbie doll. I just love that Barbie doll so, so much. I used to be obsessed with Barbie Swan Lake as a kid. Like, I would watch the movie on repeat over and over and over and over and over. Obsessed. I had the dolls. That was the only dollhouse that I got as a kid was the Barbie Swan Lake Castle. Like, I was all in. So I think that now getting to have her again, it feels really special because not only is she an insanely gorgeous doll, like she absolutely holds up the test of time and then some. She is so unreal, ethereal, and gorgeous to me. Just like the particular way that the glitter and the shimmer was done, it genuinely feels otherworldly. And then you get to add that on top of the nostalgia that I feel like that was a good memory for me. And so I think that combo is why she beats out the Goddess of the Arctic for me. Because the Goddess of the Arctic absolutely is also ethereal in her own way. But I don't have the nostalgia for her. So I think that's why, for me, Swan Lake Odette is my favorite doll that got added to my collection this year. I do think it's very interesting that we both chose secondhand dolls, not new dolls. That's not to say that there weren't any really good new dolls. I'm going to be obviously doing my best and worst of 2025 very, very soon here. So, like, there are going to be plenty of dolls to celebrate that were new releases this year. But for me, the stuff that I got to buy, that's absolutely the standout. Like, I think about her at least once a day.
Also, just a side note, because I'm clearly not done being a nerd, it's crazy to me that Tony and I both picked a Barbie as my favorite like acquisition of the year and his favorite acquisition of mine for the year, when Barbie only accounted for 7% of my overall purchases. So like clearly my heart belongs to Bratz and Monster High, but when Barbie pops off, she pops off so hard I apparently just forget about all the others and she still gets crowned top spot in some way. So I don't know, it's just fascinating.
But that concludes the easy portion of today's video. So if you want to, like, I was going to say clock out. I'm like, this is not a job for them. What are you doing? If you would like to click off, if you've had enough numbers and analytics and names, that like you've just had enough of the statistics for today, I very clearly can't relate because I'm actually really sad that we're getting close to the end here. But I can understand that not everyone is the same way that I am up in the brain. So if you would like to click off now, totally chill. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, like I really, really genuinely hope that I could entertain y'all with this because I'm selfish, okay? I want to get to do this again, but I also just I feel so happy about it that I really, really want you all to feel happy and interested about it as well. So I hope you're able to enjoy. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But if you are leaving, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, your night, or whatever it might be, and I will catch you in the next one. But if you're staying, I have 3 goodies for you. First of which is my long, long list of dolls that I bought. Literally every single doll. That's actually technically the third thing. We're going to end the video out with my laundry list of purchases, and I have pictures for all of them, okay? It's going to be a fun little slideshow for y'all. But the other two things that I wanted to do was take my two biggest brands, so Bratz and Monster High, and I wanted to see what the monthly distribution was for those brands in specific. Why? I don't know. I just was on Excel and playing with graphs and I couldn't stop. I just wanted to keep going. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at Bratz first. And here is their graph of the additions by month, as I called it here. There were only 3 months this year that I didn't buy a Bratz doll. That's crazy. Am I wrong? I feel like that's a crazy thing for me to get to say. I'm not even mad. Like, I love the dolls that I added to my collection this year. That is also another important note. I kind of feel bad that a bunch of other people probably already clicked off. Because another notable thing that I should have said is I'm so happy with all of the purchases. Like, all of the things that I bought this year are staying in the collection 100%. Like, I love them. Dang it. Oh well. Well, now you guys know. That's your bonus prize for sticking around and being like extra into my Uber autism. But yeah, only 3 months that I didn't buy a single Bratz doll. And then February and December, both months where I went really crazy with the Bratz babies, were months that I bought eight Bratz dolls. So this is interesting because it doesn't follow the same like slow upward trend that like you might expect to see because of the things we discussed earlier. I'm not going to repeat myself. Like you have got to get it together, Rain. Like, keep it calm, keep it cute. But it's almost more of like a bell curve. But that's just because of my own like personal purchasing habits that has I think very little to do with the actual market. But it is interesting. In case you are curious, I actually already did the average per month for these two. I don't know why I didn't think about it until now for like the overarching graphs, but it doesn't really matter. So with Bratz, I bought an average of 2.83 repeating dolls per month. And mind you, my total acquisitions per month were 7.3 repeating. So like a third ish. Obviously, it's not exact, okay? I can't do math on the fly. I can do it in Excel because it like boop, boop, plugs it in for me. But like almost a third ish of my overall purchases. That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, moving on to Monster High, the distribution was certainly quite different. So here you can see it was sort of similar when it comes to Bratz in terms of like there were only 4 months that I didn't buy a Monster High doll, so I still was adding at least one Monster High doll to the collection per month for the most part. The actual average turns out to be 1.583 repeating per month for Monster High. In case you're curious, we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second here. But I think it's really interesting to note, and this is, God, we're going to get off on a totally different tangent. Graphs are so fascinating because you really have to pay attention to them. Like you can't glance at them real quick because I'll flash here the Bratz and then the Monster High distributions. And it sort of looks like, oh, well, it doesn't look like you bought that many fewer Monster High dolls. That's because the top bars on my Monster High graph are literally half of what the Bratz are. Bratz top months had 8 purchases. Monster High top months had 4. That's crazy. So even though the graph can look pretty similar, the information that it is distributing to you is vastly different. So please keep that in mind, I suppose. I don't know. I find that quite fascinating. But going back to the per month averages, I think what is most jarring is like 2.83 repeating for Bratz versus 1.583 repeating for Monster High is like literally one more doll per month for Bratz in the Bratz camp. And again, I'm someone who would have said Monster High is my favorite brand. And honestly, I probably still would, although even in my head, Bratz is creeping up. Like I'm on such a Bratz kick right now. It is quite frankly painful. Like the number of dolls I would like to purchase is ungodly. And the secondhand market, I'm not messing with it. So I'm just like stuck in this weird middle zone of like, I want them. Anyway, but yeah, like that's so wild to me that on average per month, I was buying one more Bratz doll than Monster High dolls. And Monster High is what got me started collecting. They will always have a place in my heart, okay? Do not fret. As you can see by the graph here, while they may have been dethroned from what I would have assumed would be their first place position into second place, they still have a strong foothold in my heart and in my life. So it's not like anything scary, it's just statistics. But that's everything I have as far as the graphs for you. Let's get into me just being real vulnerable and giving you every single purchase that I got this year to round out the video. Okay, this is actually take 2 of me going through my entire list because it just occurred to me that I need to be talking slowly enough to be able to put pictures up for you all. It is still going to be quite rapid fire, so please do feel free if you want to hear my voice get like funnily deep and slow to put the video in like a slower playback speed, or to just pause and take a look at dolls as I flash them on screen here, because like I'm gonna be here literally all day if I talk super 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 slow, but I'll try to talk slow enough. I hope that makes sense. Also, I will be telling you all if a doll was a gift or no, well, I won't be saying if it's not. If I say it was a gift, obviously it was a gift. If I don't remark on it, I bought it. And then last thing is these are in order that I purchased them, like exactly. So I might have at the beginning of the month some Bratz and some other stuff, and you'll hear me say Bratz again towards the end of the month. That's because that's the order that I bought these things in.
The only exception to that is I think like the last 3 dolls in December are slightly out of order. It's not a big deal, but I just wanted to say it.
So, starting out with January, I got Bratz Going Out Sasha, and then I was also gifted Bratz Going Out Jade. This feels, I feel so unnatural talking this slow, but I know it's better. I know it's better for the video. February started off with the Bratz Babies Runway Felicia, then the regular Bratz Babies Jade. Jade and like the other regular Bratz babies, it is important to note, were like the reproduction versions. So like they counted as new dolls in my list because they were available on shelves. After that, we had the Catlin Pixlings doll, a glowing fairy from Barbie, Julia the Glowing Fairy, Way to Wonderland Kitty Cheshire from Ever After High, and then we went straight back into the Bratz babies, starting off with Runway Yasmin, quickly followed up by Bratz Baby's Runway Sasha. Then we got back into some of the normal, like the reproduction ones, with the twins 2-pack of Phoebe and Roxy, then the regular Yasmin, and finally the regular Bratz Baby's Sasha to round out February. March was a bit of a lighter month for me. We got Way to Wonderland Maddie Hatter. I almost said Maddie Cheshire. That's crazy. Maddie Hatter. And then I did order the Fang Vote Caddy in this month, as I had said earlier. April was a full month of only secondhand buys, namely because I went doll shopping and a doll show for my birthday in April. So we started off with the Style Stars Chloe from Bratz, and then the Reproduction Girls Night Out Chloe, also from Bratz, but she did still count as a secondhand purchase because by the time that I got her, I bought her secondhand, but also she wasn't available retail anymore. So even though she was a newer doll than some other ones, she got counted as being secondhand because by definition, she was. Then we had a couple of Barbies, the Dolls of the World Princess Edition, Princess of India, followed up with like a companion from the line, the Dolls of the World Princess Edition, Princess of the Navajo. And then we had a good little run for Ever After High, starting off with the Throne Coming Applewhite, the Legacy Day Applewhite, the Legacy Day Ashlyn Ella, and then finally, the core Maddie Hatter. Got her name right this time. That brings us to May, almost halfway through the year here. This is when we got the Scary Sweet birthday dolls. So I got Scary Sweet Draculaura from G3 of Monster High, Scary Sweet Birthday Cupid, and I do need to add a little pin in it here. I actually do have 2 of Cupid because if you remember that video that I did way earlier this year unboxing the Scary Sweet birthday dolls, I bought the Cupid, so she was accounted for in the purchases with all of my graphs. Don't worry, I was very thorough. But her nose was messed up, and I emailed Mattel about it, and they did send me an extra one. So I counted that one as a gift because I didn't pay for it, and I got to keep both of them. So the caveat with Cupid is that there were technically 2, one bought, one gifted. Then we got Scary Sweet Birthday Frankie, and finally we rounded out the month with something a little different for Monster High. Are we surprised? I brought back Bratz with the Bratziversary Jade. June started off with me purchasing the G3 core version of Nephra Denial. She was a really cool one. And then I bought all 4 of the Bratz Scorchin dolls, starting off with Jade, then Chloe, Yasmin, and Sasha. Technically, those might not be the exact order because I bought them all at once, but like, it's fine. July, I'm still saying Bratz. You can literally see how much I was enjoying them this year. So I got the Bratz Slumber Party Reproduction Jade, but I did buy her retail, so she was counted as a new doll. Bratz Stylin Chloe, as well as the Stylin Jade. The Monster High Fearbook Venus doll. She was also a real standout this year. I was then gifted the reproduction Bratz Slumber Party Yasmin doll by my friend Daisy. Thank you again, Daisy. This one was kind of a weird one. I got a redressed Monster Fest Draculaura, so I'm showing here the like normal version of her, and then here I'll pop in my like simple little edit that I did to post her on Instagram. I did count this still just in the Monster High section. She was counted as secondhand because I bought her secondhand, but I did count her in the like regular Monster High section because while this is technically speaking a custom doll in the sense that she has been like zhuzhed up a bit and certainly redressed and was redressed when I got her, it's still very identifiably Draculaura. It's certainly not a new character, so I think that's fair. Sorry if you disagree, but it's way, way too late for that. And then we concluded July with my winner of the year, the Swan Lake Odette, who was a gift from my husband. So he actually gave me my favorite doll of the year, which makes her even more special. I'm gonna cry. Get it together. August started off with me doing something that I very, very rarely do, which is intentionally buying a duplicate of a doll. I don't, care if anyone else does that on the regular because that's not my business, but I just generally don't. I made an exception here, and we started off August with a dupe of the Core G3 Caddy doll because I just love her so much, and I have an outfit planned for her. I haven't gotten her in it yet, but it wasn't like oh, I'm buying this just in case. Again, I'm not judging anyone who does that. That's just like a boundary for me and my collection. I know exactly what she's gonna wear, so I just have to get her in it. Then I got the Barbie Tribute to Fashion 2, who was also a gift from my husband, and fun fact, was a contender for his favorite doll of the year. I think he said that if I hadn't gotten the Goddess Barbie, that would have been his favorite. So it makes sense that he bought her for me. Then we had the Skeletor Emily doll from Monster High. And then we went to Bratz with their Fashion Pixies Sasha. Took a brief little respite to get my two 18-inch IOI Forever dolls. This first one, who I refer to as Evie, is inspired by Tinkerbell. And then the second one, who I refer to as Lila, is inspired by Stitch. Then the rest of the Fashion Pixies became available on Amazon, and I quickly snatched up Yasmin, and then Chloe, and then finally Jade, who was the hardest one for me to acquire. September was the light month, We had the Dia de los Muertos Skelita doll who came in. She was cool because she was my first Skelita that I ever got, so that was super duper special. And then I also got a dupe of the G3 Core Spectra doll, which again, I almost never do, but also for her, I have the exact outfit planned out for her. I just need to add a couple of little things and then she'll be good. October, though, was a busy month, so get ready. We have a lot to talk about. So, the Monster High Skulltimate Secrets Series 7, what a lot of S's there. The Oasis line, I got Laguna and Draculaura and Jennifer. And then I did get just utterly bamboozled by the, I think it was Playmates Winx dolls. I don't know. I saw them in person and was like incredible. So we got Bloom and Stella and Musa and Aisha and Tekna and Flora. Then we, calmed down. I mean, that's all that they released. But I stopped buying Winx dolls. I got the Skeletor Xenomorph doll, and then we rounded out October with the Shadow High Collector Edition Heather, as well as the Closet Amaya, both of which were gifts from my lovely mother-in-law. Almost done here. November kicked off with another dupe. This one wasn't my fault though, okay? This one was a gift from my husband because if you've seen, I've started doing a series on the channel where I'm going through every single doll and like redressing, customizing, doing the hair, whatever I need to do to like 100% love them. And I had a slight mishap while I was trying to fix my Fashion Pixies Chloe. So my husband was kind enough to buy me a dupe of her. So that's how we kicked off November. Then I did cave and I got the Huntrix collector dolls, the 3-pack of Mira, Zoe, and Rumi. So those will get here at some point, but they are included in this year's list because I bought them this year, even though I'm not going to get to see them until late next year. Then I got some of the Core Refresh 2 dolls from G3 of Monster High, starting off with Draculaura, and then we had Cleo, and then my personal favorite, Laguna. And now December. Okay, this is where we're starting to get into the dolls that you like haven't seen yet. I swear I have unboxings planned for them. January we're gonna get heavy into this stuff. But we're starting off with the big Bratz babies Yasmin. This is a reproduction that they made that is available retail, but I don't think that they're available in stores, at least nowhere even close to my area. Are they in stores? I had to get her on Walmart's website. And like, I don't even think that I found out from anywhere that they had actually like posted that was actually available. I just randomly remembered, oh, weren't we supposed to get big Bratz babies reproductions? And then Googled it and was like, oh, shit, she's available at Walmart. That's crazy. So bought her. Then we had the Bratzies. So I got Chloe and Jade again. I got a duplicate of her, and Yasmin and Sasha. Then I got my little gift from Kika Goods, which was a case of blind box BJDs, the symphonic poem series. The picture that I have here just has all of them. I don't know their names. I'm sorry, I'm really bad about that with my BJDs, like the blind box ones, just because a lot of them have names that aren't in like my native language, English, which obviously is not a problem, but it does mean that it's like a little bit more foreign for me to try to remember them. So I'm just a little bit worse with those. But I got all of those. They were gifted to me, and I'm extremely, extremely grateful for that. I did forget to mention, I swear to God, I said I was going to do this, and then I just didn't. That's so dumb. All of my Ever After High dolls in April were gifts. I can't believe I just didn't say that. Whatever. It's fine. Then I got the Rainbow High Sunny and Luna 2-pack. Randomly found that thing at Burlington, was super shocked, and ended up getting it. A, because it was a gift. My husband paid for it as an early Christmas gift to me because he's very sweet and he loves me very much. But also because it was cheaper. And like the reason I hadn't bought that set off the bat was because I didn't really care for Luna, but I did like Sunny. And so now at the cheaper price, it was like, okay, I feel good about my husband spending his money on this gift, even if I really only want to keep Sunny and then I want to like steal Luna's clothes. Which, as I'm saying that, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have counted her because I said I wasn't gonna count dolls that I bought for their pieces. But she was a 2-pack. It again, it's way too late. It's leave feedback for next year. It's too late this year. Then I got the Rainbow High Airbrush and Create doll, the one with like the crazy curls and the big pants. I do know, I have unfortunately been informed she almost certainly does not have elbow articulation. I haven't unboxed her yet, but like, whatever. She's pretty. Like, she's pretty enough for me to ignore it, and that says a lot about her. Then I got the Bratz Holiday Chloe for this year, the Frosty Nights edition. This was also a gift from my husband. And before you get upset at him, okay, listen. Again, this is a doll that is going to be unboxed on the channel come January. I swear, I promise you it's going to happen. You're going to see her, so I can maybe point this out. Please don't be mean to him for buying her, okay? Because I know that I kind of shit on that doll earlier this year. In person, she's easily 10 times better. It's kind of crazy. Like, I unboxed it, like he, gave me the gift. I unwrapped it and was like, oh no, because I saw the back first. And so I knew what he got me and I felt so bad. I was like, oh shit. Oh shit. Like, I only wanted this for the dress. I feel so bad that he's bought this for me. And then I turned her around and I was like, you look infinitely prettier than you do in stock photos. So please be nice to him. That was not, in fact, a mistake. Anyway, though, God, we got it. We're almost there. We're right there, and I just keep popping off talking about stuff. On a very similar note, I got an old Bratz holiday Chloe doll that is, I believe, from 2004. We're gonna do a comparison video. That's why I haven't unboxed the holiday Chloe yet, because I thought it would be cute to do a little comparison video. And then lastly, we got Tony's favorite, the Barbie Goddess of the Arctic. So those are all of my doll purchases and acquisitions and everything for 2025. Is 88 a crazy number? Probably, but I think the more important question here is, am I absolutely insane for doing this? And the answer is certainly yes. Certainly yes. I showed my husband my Excel sheet and he just was like, you're so autistic, but in a good way. So yeah, that is finally going to actually conclude this video. Please let me know if you liked it, what your favorite part was. If you have a least favorite part, you can say it, but just please be gentle with me because I'm so excited about this video. Just let me know what your feelings are on this. I'm really scared because, again, I've said this like 2002 times. I clearly desperately want to get to do this again, but I won't feel good about doing it if like all of you hate it. So it's okay if you don't like it. Just please be kind. But if you love it, please sound out. Like, don't let this be one of those things where you're like, oh, that was fun, just like scroll away. I get it. I understand. I am really, really bad about engaging on YouTube too. So like, I'm not judging anyone. For this one, though, I need the reassurance. So please do like or comment or whatever if you did enjoy this video. But I'm going to stop talking and get back to my Christmas. It's time for me to make my husband some lunch. He definitely needs some lunch. It's literally Christmas morning. That's how crazy I am. It's Christmas morning. In my defense, we woke up early to wake up and do gifts and everything, but it's literally Christmas morning. So yeah, I'm gonna go. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night or whatever it might be. Happy holidays whilst they linger, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.